Hi, this is Cindy, the Entity Doctor. I'm sitting here with my new client, Jade, and we're going to be talking about any attachments that Jade might have and anything that she might need to have done spiritually. Hi, Jade.
Hello, Cindy. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate that. So, is there anything in particular that's going on with you? Any kind of creepy stuff going on, or are you just wanting a general checking?
I do feel like there's definitely possibly spirits. I don't think necessarily bad spirits, maybe not, around my house, in my house, on my land. And I think having some of the relationship struggles may be something that could be stemmed from that as well. So I'm just wanting to see what may be underlying.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are both invited and uninvited spirits that come. Some of them are with us all of our lives. They're assigned to us. We are their project, okay? I teach about this in my classes. They are mostly angels and guides, okay, and they're supposed to be there. Then we also have deceased loved ones, which are maybe from this lifetime, maybe not. Maybe deceased loved ones from many, many generations of this lifetime, or possibly even from other lifetimes. And you may be feeling those. And again, those are benevolent. They're here to help you. Sometimes they think they're trying to help you and they're kind of in the way.
Right.
As an example, my grandmother came to me and her mother and said, "You're not treating your 90-year-old mother properly." And I said, "You're dead. You don't get a vote."
Right.
Because you can't let these folks push you around. All right? So let's go ahead and check you and see what's going on with you.
Okay.
And then generally what I would do is check your husband and your children and your house. And we can do that, but it just takes a while to check you. So let's go ahead and tune in to Jade's energy. I'm going to call upon the Council of Magic. Council of Magic, can we tune into Jade, please? Ooh, there it went. Okay. Okay. So does Jade have attached to her or in her auric field any underworld or foreign energies or entities? Nope. Any wayward souls? Nope. Any galactics? Nope. Any spells, curses, hexes, soul entwinements, soul fragmentations, holes in her soul? Any portals at all? Is Jade an abductee? Nope. Does she have anything hiding on her? Anything hiding? Anything following her? Nope. Does she have any soul damage? Nope. Does she have any blankets? Any bubbles or twists? Any fear entities? Any blow-ins? Any dimensionals? Nope. You are clear as a bell, my dear.
Beautiful.
Just perfectly shiny, polished, and new. So let's go ahead and check your property, because as you were telling me about that, I think that may be where the problem is coming from. Tell me a little bit about your property. Do you have a house or an apartment?
A house.
Okay. And is it on a residential lot or is it on acreage?
Residential lot.
Okay. All right. Apartments are hard because you get everybody else's junk blowing through the walls. You think, well, that's the end of my apartment because that's my outside wall. And they're like, oh, no, that's not how things work. Residential neighborhoods are difficult because sometimes even you are close to your neighbors, so you can get things from them as well.
Right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and tune into Jade's property, please. So does Jade have within her house or property line any underworld or foreign energies or entities? Ooh, that's a big yes. More than 1, more than 5, more than 10, more than 20, more than 50, more than 100, more than 200, more than 300, more than 250, 240, 230, 220, 225, 226, 227. Of the 226, are there any underworlds? Yes. Okay, how many are underworlds? More than 1, more than 5, more than 10, 9, 8. So 218 and 8. Okay, I have to write this down because I can't remember it. 218 and 8. Okay. So, Council of Magic. Are there any underworld portals on Jade's property? Are there any ley lines? Any sticky pits? And anything else that we need to be aware of on her property? Okay. All right. So yes, you do definitely need to have some tuning up for your property. Now, I primarily work with 4 different types of entities. 3 can be cleared and 1 simply cannot. Okay? As well as different types of soul damage and all different other types of things that have affected us through past lives or through this life or whatever. The first type I work with are called lost souls. And they're also called ghosts.
Okay.
They're people that have left their bodies and they've been wandering around trying to find their way into the light. And for whatever reason, they can't seem to get there. They are people that you meet on the street, at the bank, at the grocery store, okay? They're nice people, they're mean people, but they're people. So people are really afraid of ghosts, but they're just people, okay? Right. Now, I'm not saying they don't need to be cleared, because they do. Mm-hmm. And they need to go into the light, and they need to continue with their journey and find their families and make their plans and reincarnate, and we can help them with that, okay? We send them into the light. The second type of entities are called underworlds. Underworlds are the scary ones. Those are the ones that really very few want to mess with. But I can take an underworld any day, anytime. Just let me at them. Underworlds are from the underworld. Like angels, they have never walked the earth. They're not bad people that got sent to hell and have come back. That's not how that works, okay? And people do not go to the underworld.
Okay.
Unless they're very, very stupid. And I had that situation the other day where somebody did not want to go and thrive off stuck negative energy. So they want you to go somewhere. They want you to be opted to go to the underworld. They want you to be don't ever do suicidal. That. They want you to be make bad choices. Okay, make bad decisions. They love drugs. They love alcohol. Right. They love sexual addiction. Okay, so the worse they can make you feel, the better they feel, and they do everything within their power to make you that way. So you're always angry, you're always confrontational, bitter, you're always blaming everybody else, okay? Those are underworlds. And for those, people are always looking for a prayer to get rid of them, or let's sage and see if that works. Nope. For entities, that does not work. You need to call a professional in, especially for underworlds. And a lot of mediums just don't want to mess with them, so they'll refer to somebody like the entity doctor. The third type is called a galactic. You don't have any galactics, but let's just cover those real quick so that you know what they are. Galactics are generally from other planets or other dimensions. Okay, and they're here to watch us. About 80% of the galactics that I've found are non-physical. And they are absolutely gobsmacked that we're in the physical, and they want to figure that out. Right. I had one client that knew she was from a galactic society, and she knew she was an abductee, and she said she woke up during an operation one time where the galactics had taken her and heard one of them say to the other one, "Oh, we're not going to make this model anymore." She was having trouble with her knees, so I guess they didn't make that knee anymore. But galactics, if you think of how many species of animals we have on this planet, okay, so how many species of galactics are there through the universe? We don't know. I went to a talk one time and they were saying, well, galactics, they look like this and they act like that. And it's like, oh, no. No. Galactics, a lot of them are insectoid. Okay. A lot of them look like a praying mantis, like a giant praying mantis or some kind of other insect. The grays, of course, are galactics, and it was funny one time I was working on somebody and I closed my eyes and there was this gray, a face of a gray, with the almond-shaped dark eyes and the kind of guitar-shaped, pig-shaped head, and it looked at me and it said, "I'm supposed to be here. I'm observing." And I said, "Oh, no, you're not. You're out of here, son." And I sent it away. But especially if you're an abductee, then they will, whoever is abducting you and doing the experiments on you will generally leave somebody behind to watch you.
Okay.
Now, they also put certain beacons inside your body, and to me, they look like jellyfish, where the head of the jellyfish is up at your soul star chakra above your head, and then the jellyfish have the tentacles which go down into your body, through your feet into the earth, and they actually connect to these nodes that are within the earth that I found.
Wow.
Purely by accident. So about every 6 months, I go through the earth and I try to encapsulate all of these nodes and extinguish them, because they're not supposed to be here. They're not in the human's highest good. Okay,
Right.
they may be in the galactic's highest good, but let's face it, this is our territory. It's our house. We get to say.
Right.
If I can detach this beacon from the node, then I can easily just kind of pull it right out. If not, it's a bit of a fight, and I have to actually particleize, like the Star Trek transporter, particleize you section by section to get it loosened up enough to remove from your body. So I'm glad I found the nodes, because then they kind of fall out dead almost, if you will.
Okay.
So that's the third type of entity. So we've got lost souls, we've got underworlds, we've got galactics. Now the fourth type is a little abstract. They're called dimensionals. All right? Now, I know I said galactics are from other planets or other dimensions, but these things are actually not trying to hurt anybody. What happens is the Earth will pass through a field of a planet in a different dimension. So we don't see it, it doesn't see us. And I mean, it can actually pass through each other. When that does happen, or even the auric fields pass close to each other, when that happens is some of our people get sucked into their dimension and some of their people get sucked into our dimension. Well, if you're in a different dimension, you may not be able to see, you may not be able to hear, you may not be able to feel, you may not know where you are. So what they do is they tend to find the most comfortable energy that they can. Maybe it's you. When somebody has a dimensional, oftentimes I'm feeling that they're feeling things move around inside their body, or they feel like they're getting raped constantly.
Right.
Okay? And the very first dimensionals I found were they looked like octopus tentacles, long and kind of pointed at the end. And as I tried to pull them off, just like a scared cat, they hung on for dear life. And so they would actually grow a new tentacle and punch it through the body of the host, the poor victim that got this on them. And there was no reasoning with it. You can't fly around the world backwards and realign the dimensions to get these things back where they need to go, okay? So what do? The second type I found seemed to be a character from Star Trek. And he was on this man, and he was being very logical, but let's see, this didn't work, so I should get back home, and I should try this way. And then that didn't work. And then he's like, well, I should try this way. So, and that one I could communicate with.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I let him know, there's no way to get you home. If I would, I could, I promise, but I don't know how to do it. And I said, you have two choices. You can stay here, and you can be on this guy, or you can go into the light, and you can continue with your journey. He said, well, I don't want to stay here. I'm not getting anything done, so I'd like to go into the light. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see if I can help you. So it's almost like standing there looking at somebody going, go into the light, go into the light. It's not going to happen, So I don't know if he decided to try and find a way into the light as opposed to find a way home, since there was no way to do that. And I've had dimensionals come up all the time. They happen a lot more than you'd expect. I had one guy said, I've got all this moving around in my chest. I said, you've got a lost kitten in your chest. He said, will it affect my soul? I said, in a way. I said, if you rally against the machine and panic and send it fear and send it resentment, yes, that's going to affect your soul.
Right.
If you realize that this poor little lost kitten is there through no fault of its own, and it doesn't know what to do, and it doesn't know how to survive, and you can send it love and try to work with it so that you both have the highest good, whatever that means, however that looks, yes, that will affect your soul.
Right.
So simply by having a dimensional will not affect your soul, but how you react to it definitely may.
Right.
So those are the 4 type of entities that I work with. And I offer clearings. The cost of the clearing, of course, depends upon how many you have on you or are on your property or whoever they're on, and how they're attached. Do you have any questions for me?
Wow, that's very interesting and magical.
Thank you.